This is the episode 2 of Dandadan Season 2. I am really going to recommend watching Season 1 first and Part 1 of this video to fully understand everything. So let's start the episode 2. Gigi asks Momo and Ken to follow him, but when Gigi turns back he sees Momo and Ken acting strange. Gigi brings both of them inside the house, but Ken and Momo are still behaving strangely. Ken starts destroying things inside the house. Gigi stops him, but then the Great Worm attacks them. Gigi struggles to protect Ken and Momo from the Great Worm. Gigi throws a cup that was near him, and the Great Worm attacks the exact spot where the cup landed. Seeing this, Gigi realizes that the worm is reacting to sound, specifically the sounds echoing due to the walls of the house. Gigi then sees Ken trying to harm himself. Gigi stops him and asks why he's doing this, but Ken only says that he should be allowed to die. Hearing this, Gigi remembers the day his parents tried to commit. Gigi came home from school and saw his parents hanging themselves. Gigi quickly cut the ropes, saving them. Gigi goes to his mom, and she says the same thing Ken just said, that she should be allowed to die. In the present, Momo also tries to harm herself, attempting to push a large piece of glass into her stomach. But Turbo Granny intervenes, and the glass piece goes into Turbo Granny's stomach. However, it doesn't affect her because she's in doll form. Gigi first ties up Ken and then Momo. Gigi asks Turbo Granny what's happening. Turbo Granny explains that the giant worm is releasing psychic waves, which are making them want to harm themselves. We then learn that the Great Worm's psychic waves are the reason people entering the house commit suicide, and Gigi's parents were also victims of this. Gigi asks Turbo Granny why she isn't affected. Before Turbo Granny explains anything, Momo uses her power to attack Gigi with shards of glass. Gigi is badly injured by the glass shards and falls to the ground. The Great Worm hears the sound of him falling. Gigi realizes he's in a bad situation because the Great Worm was in front of him, and Momo had used her power to capture Turbo Granny and was about to attack herself with a piece of glass. Ken was also about to free himself. Gigi takes a deep breath and, in the next second, very quickly saves Momo first, then Ken and Turbo Granny, and starts carrying them out of the house as the Great Worm completely destroys it. But then Gigi slips on the stairs and falls. Gigi manages to get up and sees Ken and Momo trying to harm themselves again. Gigi quickly stops them, but then the Great Worm appears right in front of them. Gigi thinks it's the end, but then another spirit appears. This is the same spirit that appeared in Gigi's dream. As soon as it appears, Momo and Ken regain their senses. Turbo Granny tells everyone not to make eye contact with the spirit. Turbo Granny explains that this is the evil eye, whose evil gaze forces people to commit, just like the Great Worm's psychic waves do. Turbo Granny explains that the psychic waves of the evil eye and the giant worm are canceling each other out, which is why Momo and Ken regain consciousness. Ken, in his transformed form, blows the Great Worm's head off, but the Great Worm regenerates its head and attacks them. Gigi asks the evil eye, "Was you the reason why my parents didn't commit?" Turbo Granny warns Gigi not to look into the evil eye's eyes, but the evil eye comes right in front of Gigi's face, causing their eyes to meet. The evil eye shows Gigi its past. Here we see that the evil eye is imprisoned in a place with a window. The evil eye sees some children playing outside through the window. The evil eye was in very bad condition. It looked like it had been imprisoned there for a long time, with no food or clothing. After a few days, the evil eye is tied up in front of a volcano, and the volcano's magma burns it to ashes. This was done by the Keto family. The next day, some people come to the altar and see that the evil eye still has some life left, and it dies a few hours later. The evil eye had only one wish, to play with other children, and because of this wish, it became a spirit. Years later, a house is built where the altar was, and a family comes to live there. The child in the family could see the evil eye. The child is scared after seeing the evil eye, so the evil eye starts dancing to make the child happy. Then it notices that there is someone below the house. After a few days, the parents in that family commit, and the cause of the is none other than the Great Worm. This child was probably saved from the Great Worm's psychic waves because of the evil eye, but this child cannot escape the Keto family, who decide to give the child to the Great Worm. They tie the child to a chair and bury the house. The evil eye tries to save the child, but because it was a spirit, it couldn't untie him. At that moment, the evil eye decides that it will destroy the Keto family, and all the souls of the children killed by the Keto family merge with the evil eye. Now in the present, Momo brings Gigi back to consciousness. The evil eye clings to Gigi. Momo tries to remove it, but Gigi refuses and says that it is not evil. Meanwhile, Ken is fighting the Great Worm. The evil eye tells Gigi to go downstairs, and Gigi starts to go. Momo tries to stop Gigi, but he doesn't listen to her, so Momo also starts following Gigi. Momo notices that as they go downstairs, the design of the house is becoming older. which makes her realize that this house belongs to all those who were victims of the Keto family and that great snake. Gigi reaches the place where the evil eye was killed. Gigi thinks that the evil eye was protecting him all this time. Then Momo and Turbo Granny arrive there. Turbo Granny tells Gigi to stay away from the evil eye, but Gigi doesn't listen and says that he just like us, just in a different form. Turbo Granny and Gigi start arguing. Momo stops them, but then the Great Worm produces a shockwave that shocks everyone. The Great Worm starts emitting a sticky liquid from its mouth. Momo, Gigi, and Turbo Granny get stuck in that sticky substance. Momo asks Turbo Granny why her luck isn't helping them. Turbo Granny explains that her luck isn't just for one person, it can also benefit the enemy. Hearing this, Momo gets angry. Momo tries to break free with her power. She tells Gigi to hold her tight, but Gigi doesn't respond. Momo sees that Gigi has completely zoned out. The evil eye, by trapping Gigi in its words, takes control of his body. The Great Worm is about to kill Momo, but then the evil eye, which is in Gigi's body, overpowers the Great Worm and says, "Now, with this body, I will kill all humans," and episode 2 ends here. I hope you liked the video and don't forget to subscribe for the third episode. See you soon.